The lights go green, we go racing. 1 or 2 being ever so brave, going over the white line on the outside of the circuit, going down towards turn 1. But a good getaway is made by Goethe, who outdrags Engel, who comes back in with this drama in the background. Car in the wall already. Looks like it might be a Boots and VDS Porsche. And mayhem has broken out as cars bounce across the road. Others go off in avoidance. And there's a big lose in the middle of the pack. It's one of the Garage 59 McLarens that's gone around. I fear we're going to have to go safety car here. There's been one incident going into turn 1. There's another incident coming out of turn 1. Maro Engel leads the way. And I'm fearful that it's Dean McDonald's McLaren that we have lost, with Benji Goethe in second place. Others going off the road and back on, using that sort of bypass, coming down towards turn 4. But it's been a very dramatic start. So yeah, the front row late to accelerate. Look in the background, cars are going left and right to try and find clear space. And then there's going to be a Boots and Porsche mid-shot, just going underneath the camera. And as the cars get towards turn 1, look towards the right of the screen, suddenly there's going to be a car that seems to go 90 right, sorry, 90 left I should say, and bang into the wall, but glanced across the front of other cars as it went to the wall. There is Baptiste Moulin coming the other way into the barrier, and if you're in the middle of the pack, where do you go? Because there are cars now either side, and there's debris being flung at you. Look at that huge chunk of bodywork being clipped.
So this is the second row car, isn't it? This is McDonald, who is off on the exit of turn 2. We'll see some chaos in the background. It's the CSA car and the Rover BMW and the Come2U car as well of Boyer. They sandwich into the CSA car. It's then fired into the Porsche, and then that gets Jaden Kelly as well. We get roughed up there. That is going to be a penalty for me. Sorensen in the 7 car into the back of us in the 59. So I think the 007, but yeah, look at the energy involved. You can see the Greystone car has hit the Porsche but had nowhere to go.
And Maxime Martin is also on the attack for second place. Right, we're back racing then. So the GT World Challenge Europe powered by AWS Endurance Cup opener is green once more. Maro Engel leads them away then at the end of lap 6 down towards turn 1 with a bit of breathing space over Benji Goethe. Martin is 3rd, 4th is Junckadea, 5th is Sorensen, Frederick Schantorf is 6th, Calvin van der Linde in the BMW runs 7th, and in 8th place it is the Porsche of Bastien Boost, the Lion Speed car, and it's all a lot tidier this time.
Yeah, now they're strung out, single file makes it slightly easier. Boost looks like he's got some speed. He was already looking down the inside of van der Linde in the 32, still clean as cars exit turn 2.
So they wriggle their way then out of that 3, 4, 5 sequence down to the Virage du Camp and then back on the power for turn 6. It's a long corner. You've got to be patient and just gently get back onto the grunt.
Junckadella seems to be struggling here, and that Aston has got great straight line performance. So watch these cars now as they get onto Mistral. I think that green and yellow Come2U car is going to have a good chance to get past the Merc.
Not only is the Aston on the move, but the Merc is not staying, is it, with the top 3. Junckadella dropping back, and now look, Marco Sorensen gets a tow. That's going to give him another 10 kilometres an hour or so, up to 290 kilometres an hour in a straight line, and the Aston just breezes by. See you later. Onto the Mistral they come then, and this battle down for 24th place. Simon Reicher is in the Audi. And the BMW dropped back, in fact, there, because Matthias Niesmann loses out to Freddie Tomlinson. So the McLaren really quick going onto the Mistral. That's the car with the damage. Look, you can see on the right front the little bit of bodywork sticking out to the side. There it is. And back to attack comes the BMW. Matthias Niesmann on the outside up to senior. He goes through, and also there, Ariel Levy in the Audi goes around the outside as well. So is that bodywork acting as an air brake, or is the McLaren just not good in the straight line? It's good in the corners. Tomlinson fights back.
Mega move shows it down the inside, side-to-side contacts. All fair at the moment, still going on. The Audi's going to lose traction on the curb. It's still on the inside there. And there's an Aston Martin and a Mercedes joining the party. We're just seeing a lot of slipstream. That Audi basically got a triple toe past the McLaren, and now Freddie Tomlinson needs to try and stop the rise. He got damage. I think rear left looked wobbly. Maybe that side-to-side contact has done something.
And there is Freddie Tomlinson's car then. So with damage on that front right, he's heading for the pit lane. So dramas into the pit lane he comes. And it might, I'm afraid, be the start of a tough 6 hours from here on in.
Yeah, it didn't look right straight away, and we saw the contact, but it was such slight damage. I can't believe it would have broken anything, but potentially the rear toe link too weak on that McLaren, and it's definitely going to come in, and they're going to have to inspect that quite quickly.
Coffee box is that. What damage have you got? Front right suspension. Front right.
So Freddie Tomlinson talking to the team about damage to the suspension on the front right. So we'd seen the damage, bodywork, but there was something more sinister. And you'd seen, well, he dive bombed into Labose, looked all right at that point, and then the contact was on the left-hand side of the car. So, but in terms of championship points, gold is important for that Ferrari team. Over the timing line they come.
It's a very sensible comment, but a racing driver is not sensible, and I can tell from the body language of Shandorf's car, he is not thinking with your logic. He is fighting every single position, be it overall or class.
And Boos having a go on the outside line, and while they squabble, that brings Kelvin van der Linde back into the pack, doesn't it now? So this for 6th, 7th and 8th places. Schandorf defending from Boos, and now, as Boos has got a bit stuck, that brings van der Linde a bit closer. Boos has another look to the inside line, can't find a way through there. He's getting ever more committed. I hesitate to say desperate, but the way that Boos is going now, there's a lot more energy and effort being put in because he wants to get past. He's had enough from the back of that Ferrari.
Yeah, he knows that Schandorf's best hope here is to back him up to van der Linde, and he's got to show that he's not going to do it. I said on my preview of the lap here at Ricard, it's a short break at turn 3. It's 100 metres, so there isn't really an overtaking. That's why I had the big breath inhale, because you just don't see it work there. And it looked like as soon as Boos tried it, he was like, I don't want to be here anymore. And that's when you see contact, is when you're trying to get out of a move that can't be done.
So right now, race leader is on lap 15. Is this the change? Can Bastian Boos make the move up towards Senior? He's on the outside line. You're going to have to be brave to go all the way around the outside and also not open the door to van der Linde, who is tucked up behind in 32 BMW. Schandorf, in fairness, is doing a really good job of hanging on to the place. He went wide here a lap ago. Does not go as wide on this lap, so that means that still stuck behind him is Bastian Boos. Not this lap is the answer to the dive going into turn 5. This is 6. Ferrari just trying to escape. The drone doing a very good job of keeping up with them, and in fact almost having a go at the BMWs. You ride atop Kelvin van der Linde, who now, look, is right up behind Boos. The Ferrari's got away, and it's van der Linde on the attack this time as they head up Mistral straight, nose to tail. Bastian Boos versus Kelvin van der Linde, the BMW right under the rear wing of the 911. Boos hanging on to position. Schandorf getting away a little bit, but then as the toe kicks in, they're back with him at the end of the straight. So nose to tail, Ferrari, Porsche, BMW, great battle.
Really good, and I was surprised the BMW wasn't able to get alongside that Porsche, seemingly very strong in a straight line as well, so that all bode well for them. You said you didn't want to throw me under the bus earlier, who I thought was going to win. I'm going to go with Boos to be the winner. I think that 80 Lionspeed car looks fast. I think they're going to be there right at the end.
And there, a little bit of an incident between Giacomo Petrobelli and was that one of the Paradigm BMWs? But Schandorf goes wide out of turn 2, and this is Boos's chance. No, it's not his chance because he can't level in a straight line with the Ferrari. He slips back again. He looks on the outside more in hope than in anticipation. Trying to settle Schandorf, who does go wide. He's up the curb, and now Boos lines up for a go on the inside. Gets a face full of Ferrari. Frederick Schandorf clambers over the curb. So does Boos. This is getting all very, very, very sketchy at times, but you can see the commitment being put in. Schandorf is under massive pressure. Boos, massive attack, and van der Linde just waiting for the opportunity to present, and he in turn is being caught now by Valentino Rossi, having a 9th place in his BMW. Now Boos under the rear wing of the Ferrari this time. He's much, much closer coming onto the Mistral straight than he was a lap ago. So is this where Schandorf finally succumbs to Bastian Boos? Here comes the Porsche up on the outside. He's got the toe, an extra 10 kilometers an hour or so. The BMW trying to benefit from a double toe by positioning itself as Boos thinks about the outside, but he's left the door open to van der Linde. He's got to suddenly close that door, unlock it and bolt it, and he does, and Schandorf hangs on to 6th. Yeah, Paradigm is Darren Lung's team, operated out of that global motorsport metropolis of Skegness by Simon Traves, who, when he's not running Paradigm GT3 cars or Ginetta Juniors this year, is a Formula 1 stock car racer of good skill in his own right. And James Callett's about to dive up the inside there. Look of the Anthony Bartone Mercedes AMG. Job done. That was very nice and incisive. Yeah,
very efficient as well. From a time loss perspective, that would be a few tenths of a second. It's the best way to get the move done. I think Bartone did a good job as well. Didn't fight it, kind of rolled over and let the car come through on his inside, so they both get away with not losing too much time. As Boos to the inside of Schandorf, job done.
Finally, he's done it. Bastian Boos goes through on the inside at turn 6. So he did that on pure bravery, no extra turbo boost or anything. So Bastian goes through, gains the place, and now van der Linde thinks, right, I need to get on with this myself. And right away, he's all over the back of Schandorf. He is about to discover what Boos found. Schandorf is hard to get past.
Yeah, even harder when he's cutting the apex so hard. This is, they're done. They're well out of the running now.
Bizarre, isn't it, for a team that's so well drilled normally to have a situation like that as the sister Comp 2 entry gets up the inside and there's contact, and that's going to turn around number 50 Ferrari of Sean Carlisle. I think that was Murray Boyer's Aston that did the deed, and that surely is going to get looked at.
Yes. If you want an illustration of what a drive-through penalty is for contact, it's right there.
That, yeah.
And I expect the 18 car to get a drive-through in the next couple of laps.
So not a great lap for Aston Martin, one in the pits with a problem and one getting involved in an incident that might well come back to haunt. So let's have another look at it.
So you can see Gallo's closing the door and he's at the apex, and Murray Boyer will say, well, I'm there, where am I meant to go? Well, you're not on the circuit and you haven't got level with the car. So for me, he's just desperation trying to get the move done. Shame, because the 18 car that he shares with Lance Stroll has gone forward and has looked quick.
So the Paradigm BMW leading in bronze. In silver, it is the Finn Wiebelhaus Mustang. In gold, it's still Benji Goetter's McLaren. And in the Pro Cup, Mauro Engel, the overall race leader. So right now, we are into the second hour of the race, and that means that the teams are starting to think about pit stops. And also, not only do you need to think about your strategy, you do need to keep an eye, I guess, on the garages left and right. You don't want your car being hemmed in, as there the BMW almost pushes the Mercedes along, and off the road both of them go as they come onto the Mistral straight. James Kellett trying to get past that Mercedes. I don't think that's a battle for position.
Not, no.
But he wants to get past. As a brand are going to start losing pace when the temperatures drop. They need to try and build gaps now and hope there are no safety cars again to bunch up. And the Scott Noble Mercedes spins in the background at senior. You saw the blue Mercedes suddenly swap ends and disappear. There it is, off the road.
Looks like it's fired up quickly and he's trying to get going. There's a bit of a gap in 3 cars' time, and then he's got to get going. Not a nice place to try and rejoin.
No, indeed. So the American driver is on the move again. So Scott Noble leaves the scene of the crime. Thankfully, no damage. Lots of runoff there up at senior. Very busy battle pack going on here. 20th place at the moment. You've got that BMW, which is currently Amaury Cordil at the wheel of the car. One of many on this grid who was in the Asian Le Mans series, for example, Dustin Blackman. It's getting really crowded here. Look, coming out of senior. Cars on the curbs, cars up the inside. Tim Tramnitz is on the attack in the purple and white BMW on the inside, and he's going to be able to vault a place, if not 2.
Yeah, great move from whatever happened at senior to where we picked it up. But yeah, and Loke has made up a few places in that. He's kind of escaped that battle pack, which is the place you want to be when it's all kicking off there. And looks like Malikin's looking like he's in a hurry. You can see the headlight flashing.
Car stops at pit exit, yeah.
It's the new Lamborghini, I think, isn't it? The Retronic car has just stopped, and it's too far for the marshals to be able to recover it. That's going to be an awkward one. I think that's going to have to go to a full course yellow.
So the Porsche ready to strike, and we are getting reports from the pit lane that it is Thomas Preining in the car, but I'm very, very surprised that the team haven't gone to race control to try to get that change on the driver ID, because it's going to come back to haunt Martin through the traffic now.
3-star Mercedes, 3 wide. Is it going to be 4? Gounon trying to make it. Oh, God. He's
massive hit at the curb, and he manages to hang on to it. But look at the Porsche round the outside there. The line speed Porsche had the lines out of the clear air. Through has gone Preining. Gounon's got ahead of Martin, but that could have been horrific.
I think like for like spinner there.
That is 50 Ferrari. Lilo Adu has lost it coming away from Le Beausset towards the Virage de la Tour. From Bendor, that section of the circuit. So the car is on the move again. That yellow flag will be withdrawn. Lilo Wadu back into the race. There's your leader. There's Mauro Engel.
There he is, up against the wall, and doesn't look massively damaged, but to be that close, maybe there's been contact.
4th in class he was before the drama. I'm trying to work out where he is in relation to the racetrack, because he seems to be a long way off, doesn't he? The circuit is on the left of the screen as you look.
Yeah, he's basically on the exit of 2, and it's looped round on him. He's done well to get reverse there, and he's going to get on the throttle, and luckily he can kind of rejoin like he's on the motorway hard shoulder, and there's a big gap there anyway, so doesn't look to be any legacy damage on that, so hopefully he can keep going. But that isn't something we've seen much with the 74 car. It's always been strong and kept out of trouble. He won't care about that. He's going to keep pushing forward to try and get the biggest gap possible in this silver class battle.
Now look, the Mustang fighting back in a straight line, but goes to the outside. Kirby Pavels will defend, and he succeeds in defending, hangs on to the place, or does he? No, the Mustang back up the inside. So Pavels may have led the class, but he only did it from about a straight, and the Mustang back through. So Kobe Pavels has got to do it all over again. Good driving that by Eduardo Cosseteng, not taking it lying down at all. And here they come, overlapping them. Aston Martin versus Ford Mustang. Round the outside of the Mustang goes the Aston. Cossetane hangs on to it, then he goes wide and Pauwels tries to squirt up the inside. This for the Silver Cup lead. Mustang versus Aston, absolutely tied together and not that far behind. Guillermo Oliveira in the McLaren is coming back at the pair of them as Pauwels again tries to go to the inside of the penultimate corner. He then needs to switch sides, but he's hung out to dry on the outside off the Virage Dupont.
Yeah, the McLaren's right in the battle, isn't he? And I think Pauwels will feel like he's been a bit naive there, leaving the door open into 10. I think he thought it was job done. He didn't appreciate the pace of the Ford, and he is going to lose a place, I think, to Oliveira in that option McLaren, who's trying to get down the inside into turn 1. Job done.
Right, so he was in the lead, he's back to third. So real snakes and ladders this, he's been shuffled back. So Pauwels on the attack, he's up alongside the McLaren for second in silver, going down towards turn 3. He's got the line, he's got the place. So part of the job is done, redone. He's back up into second, but he's got to catch the Mustang again, and then he's got to try and pass it, and then he's got to stay ahead.
Yeah, we've got a Porsche there as well, the dynamic car in the mix. Is not for position, but he needs to keep going there. Now suddenly the Ford has a gap again, and Kobe Pauwels needs to settle the ship. It was a great original overtake.
Translates into quite a healthy gap indeed, as you look there at Dan Harper trying to get through traffic in the number 46 BMW that is in 12th place. Thomas Drouet is ahead of him on the road, and they're fighting for 11th spot. Side by side they go. BMW trying to make ground up all the while.
It's actually the Ferrari, isn't it? Mosca getting past Harper.
Oh, sorry, forgive me. Yeah, you're right.
I think Harper was actually compromised a bit with the run onto the straight. I think he'll be safe because he's got the inside line, but he's getting dicey there, trying to take the side draft off each other and end up touching quite a few times. He's done it.
He has indeed. Nicely done. Out of Bend d'Or on towards the Virage de la Tour they go. This is Dan Harper's view under the floodlights, a little bit more visibility. Brake lights on the Ferrari stab on ahead. What he wants is to try to dive bomb on the inside here, and he's going to have a go, is he? No, that is the Ferrari getting ahead of the Mustang, so that's one change of place. Mosca gets 11th off Drouet. Now Dan Harper comes to fight back, but look, Drouet in the grunt and go Mustang is alongside. So over the timing line they go. When they broke the beam, Drouet was ahead by 24 thousandths of a second, and it all kicks off at turn 1. Up the inside goes the Ferrari, brakes late. Does he make the corner? He does. Good move by Mosca.
Harper could get both of them here. They're falling over each other. This is going to be interesting. Mosca is so aggressive. If he goes right now, he's going to turn himself around. I thought that's what he's going to do to Harper as he comes across the front. He's going to try and send it around the outside. This is not going to end well.
Contact is made. Ferrari spins. Harper avoids it. Tommaso Mosca off the road. Thomas Drouet survives. Also there, look, number 2 Porsche has gone through. That is Picariello, who's picked off places. So Dan Harper actually has been delayed out of all of that because he had to go wide in avoidance. He's been slightly compromised.
Big brain move from Dan Harper, how wide he went, because he really anticipated how far Mosca was going to roll back. That just saved that car's race. So you're right, he's lost time, but he has to roll out of the way. For me, Mosca's asking for this. It's now been a lap of driving too aggressively, and the Ford has just gone, where do you want me to go, and is understeered into him. Mosca will say, well, I'm there, the Ford has gone into me. I just think it'd be interesting to see from the Ford's point of view what he could have done on board with Harper then. So he's getting squeezed inside. Mosca swings, nearly takes Harper out, and then, I mean, the Mustang's on the apex. That's my first reaction is, where does Mosca want the Mustang to go? It could go either way on that one. That's my personal opinion. Happy to be told I'm wrong, David. I'm a bit worried about this 93 car. It's just stopped. I can see it from an onboard that it's not in the wall, but it hasn't moved for a long time. So I think we might be getting a full course yellow countdown, so we have to keep an eye on that. That would really spice the race up somewhat. I think we are going to get everyone through the rounds of pit stops, so at least you're not going to get that pitting under green.
Yeah, I think we've had that already.
There's the flag, there are the lights, we're back racing. So Lucas Auer goes through. Nicky Team is 3.2 seconds back, so the gap in terms of time has certainly come down, but now Nicky Team has got to get through the traffic, and as he does so, Lucas Auer can try and build that gap once again. 25 minutes to go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's got past one car already. I think it was actually a sister car of him in the COM2 Aston, but at the moment all looking pretty for Lucas Auer. Everyone's made it through turns 1 and 2 as well, so far looking clean.
Nicky Team trying to get through the back markers any which way he can as they wriggle their way now up out of turn 5. So 007 Aston trying to pounce on the traffic as they go onto the Mistral straight. So Lucas Auer within that first sector, actually wasn't as quick as Nicky Team. Nicky was a 10th faster, oddly enough, despite the fact there was a bit of traffic around him. But not necessarily out of the wood, because he's still got quick people around him. So although Picariello is trying to get past Calvin van der Linde, he is certainly under attack from Marvin Kirchhofer as the leader goes by. And fastest lap of the race, Nicky Team. He's got the gap down by 9/10 of a second. It's 3 seconds now with 19 minutes to go. Nicky Team, lap 165, the fastest lap of the race.
It's on, isn't it? It's really on. We see a Ferrari, I think, trying to get down the inside of a BMW at turn 2. Here's our leader. He'll be asking for the gap. He'll be asking, what's team doing? Which sector am I losing? What can I do? Everything now from a steady, easy win is going to be all in. You've got to go for it. Lucas Al is still not got a single track limit warning.
So Lucas out trying to cover off the inside line. Nicky Team trying to go to the inside to make Lucas dart around and perhaps open the door for him. And he's going to make a little mistake. You see Lucas out, he's going to go wide. He's off the road. He's way, way wide. Is that the opportunity for the Aston Martin? Let's see. They dive into the corner and he's gone by. Nicky Team picks up the advantage. Delight at Comtu. Massive frustration at Winward. Team forces a mistake out of Lucas Al. And this race now, with 8 minutes and 25 seconds to go, is upside down.
That was a big moment at Senior doing 220Ks. I think he just hit too much of the apex curve. It popped up the Mercedes and you could see it land back down. Heavy sparks. That's taking grip away from the tyres, and now I had to unwind the lock and run very, very wide. And Nicky Team just kept on the track and drove away. I think that is day done, and that is going to be a race lost after leading every single lap until the last 6.
Lucas Al is going to be absolutely distraught, isn't he? Because not only has he lost the race, but he's also made a mistake that contributed towards it. You could argue Nicky Team would have got him. Had it not been there, he would have done it somewhere else. But the car just never looked as strong, did it, on the resumption. Don't forget, Nicky Team has come through all of that traffic and he's caught the Mercedes, and then he's able to make the move. That was the moment that really undid it all for Lucas Al. Way off the racetrack, Nicky Team through into the lead of the race and now starting to get away. And this will be the last lap of the race then. The clock has hit 0 and Aston Martin, despite a puncture, heading for victory unless something trips up Nicky Team on the last lap of the race. Nicky's father, Kurt Tim, a great touring car legend of the 80s and 90s, and Nicky Team, well, we know how good he is. A Spa 24-hour winner, Danish Formula 4 champion, SEAT champion in Germany, Nürburgring 24 winner, Porsche Super Cup champion, class winner in the World Endurance Championship, and a great character to boot.
Yeah, really is, and quite excited to see his celebration when he gets out of that car in the new victory area here at Paul Ricard.
So onto the Mistral for the last time. Nicky Team 11/10 up on Lucas Al. The gap has fractionally extended, but only by thousandths within the first sector. They're about to get to the end of sector 2. When they go through, will break the beam. And Team to our 30.4 the sector time for Nicky Team, 30.2 for Lucas Al. Again, it comes down a little, but even if he were to get on the back of the Aston with a third of a lap to go, it ain't going to happen. And this is a result that really has come out of nowhere.
Yeah, they're going to go into a very happy Sunday all of a sudden, aren't they?
Yeah, and the next time a car has a problem and you confidently say, they're done, I'll remind you of this result, all right?
I'm done.
But it has been an amazing recovery and proof that you never give up. You never know what's around the corner.
Yeah, you really do. And I think they were right that they got it out, but they were lucky, weren't they, with when it happened.
Yeah, true enough. And although Lucas Al has stayed on the back of Nicky Team, a race dominated by Mercedes is going to be won by Aston Martin. Marco Sorensen, Mattia Drudi and Nicky Team win the opening round of GT World Challenge Europe powered by AWS Endurance Cup at Paul Ricard. Checkered flag is waved and a delighted Comtu celebrate a victory that never really looked likely. But Mattia Drudi said, it's Nicky Team. We know he's crazy. He'll send it. Well, he did, and it worked, and they win by 0.8 of a second at the end of 6 hours of racing. Go
hard or go home, it says on the back of his helmet, and that is definitely what has happened. He chose the former out of those two options, and fair play to everyone at the 7 car there. They've dug deep and found the pace, and I think that new set of tyres maybe was the difference after that last safety car restart.
A winning gold for Garage 59. Tom Fleming's McLaren comes home. A winning silver for Alexei Nesson. It's going to be a winning gold for the Luke Hartog driven Porsche. But yeah, it's been a long, long day for the teams. And Mauro Engel congratulates the team on a job well done. But it will be fascinating to know just why Lucas Auer could not respond at the end. Let's have a look at the result then. A win for Mathieu Drudy, Marco Sorensen and Nicky Thiem, ahead of Lucas Auer, Lucas Stolz and Mauro Engel. Third and winning gold, Tom Fleming, Louis Pret and Benji Goethe. Fourth, Kelvin van der Linde, along with Jordan Pepper and Charles Weir. Fifth, Joseph Loeb, Dean McDonald and Marvin Kirchhofer. And sixth, to Augusto Farfus, Jake Dennis and Raffaele Marciello. If you head to 13th, you find the bronze winners, Ricardo Pera, Antares Auer and Luke Hartog. And silver success, 17th, Alexei Nesov, Alex Malikin and Max Hofer. We started with 58 of them, and it was round about 39-40 that actually were still running at the checkered flag. Yeah, there were one or two incidents, but largely it seemed to be mechanical woes that did for people.
Yeah, there weren't really any big car-to-car clashes, were there? There was the Ford and the Ferrari down at turn 3, but both continued.
And whatever kicked off at the start.
Yeah. That genuinely just looked like a racing incident. It really kicked off the 555 CSA McLaren, and they got sort of pinstered innocently and then spun across the field, and could have been a lot worse.
True enough, yeah. This a continued look all the way through that order. Of course, the one that really lost out, or the two you could argue, Baptiste Moulin and Robin Knudsen eliminated on that first lap, even before they got to the first corner. It happened on the straight. They never got into the left-handed bit at turn 1.
Yeah, they were both big hits. Luckily, both drivers walking away okay, but that's a lot of damage for the teams to repair.
And there, the trophies come for the third-placed team, as Mathieu Braga from Pirelli presents to Louis Pret, in the middle to Benji Goethe, to Tom Fleming, third place team, and Garage 59 exorcising the demons of last year.
Yeah, very efficiently as well.
Last year the cars were quick but unreliable. The season, in fairness, did build. Wins came in sprint and endurance. There for second place, Mauro Engel, Lucas Auer, Lucas Stolz. And the expressions say, well, yeah, these will do, but we really wanted the other ones, the ones with 1 written on them.
And it was so close, wasn't it? It felt gutting to have Mauro Engel sat with us when we saw the 93 go off, get stuck, and you could see when we were talking to him, he tensed up. He knew what was coming, and maybe he knew that the Aston on a safety car restart had some serious pace.
I still thought that the Mercedes was going to have enough in hand over what we'd seen, but yeah, you know, that pace that we were looking at as its best lap was in much warmer conditions, and it looks as though the temperature has hit yet again. I'm sure the gap would have carried on coming down, but you know, you have to deal with the situation as it presents itself. Lucas Auer was being caught anyway. That mistake didn't help, but it certainly opened the door, didn't it, for the Aston, and gave Nicky Thiem perhaps an easier ride than he expected. And there the trophies go to the winners. So it's been a tough period in between the Spa 24 victory and this. And their trophies and awards presented by Pirelli as well as by SRO. The champagne is sprayed, and at least this way, the Mercedes drivers can get revenge.